Hello and welcome to Tim Connolly Drums. Well, you're not used to seeing me with another person here normally. This is something a little bit different. I'm going to start a new aspect of my channel, which is called Drum Talk. And today I have drummer Matt Wallace with me. And Matt and I are going to engage in some drum talk, conversation. And I'm going to ask Matt a few questions. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get to it. So I am here with drummer Matt Wallace. Now, Matt and I, we both work at the same music school, and Matt is obviously a drum teacher, and I'm a drum teacher here, and we're actually filming this in one of the drum rooms. And I thought it would be a really great idea to let you meet some drum friends of mine and get their slightly different perspective on things. For example, my first thing I'm going to talk to Matt about is, did you happen to watch the football game last night, the Super Bowl?
I didn't, but I watched the highlights this morning, and Kansas City lost, right?
Eagles
really
won.
Badly too. Right?
Yeah, they got killed.
Yeah.
But did you see Kendrick Lamar's performance?
I didn't. But I don't know, like you're not a big fan of Kendrick Lamar, right?
No, yeah. I did a video earlier today at my house about Kendrick.
Oh, no.
About the performance.
Yep.
But I just wanted to get your take on it. But if you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum. I'm a pretty big fan of Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't seen that video of yours yet, but I know we've talked before about like the state of music and how you feel about like hip hop and all that stuff. And,
right.
Yeah.
So let me know what is your opinion on the state of modern music and pop music and R&B and, auto tune and all that sort of thing. What do you think about the state of the industry right now?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I think I kind of have a little bit more of a positive outlook on it. I think things are getting more digital, right? It's all on the internet. Everything's AI. Everything's able to be created all really, really fast. And people with maybe not as much musical background are able to create music, and a lot of it very, very quickly. But that definitely leads to oversaturation and a lot of bad music. But I think if you can sift through some of that, there are some real artists out there. Like there's people that are actually spending tens of thousands of hours honing in the craft of, beat making and like storytelling through rapping. I don't know if you know, Kendrick Lamar, when he was in college, won like awards and scholarships for his like poetry. That was like his beginning.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, when he was in college, he was a big poetry writer. So there's some depth to his art, but there's definitely a lot of area where there isn't very much depth. It's very shallow in a lot of ways.
Okay, where do you see these drummers fitting into this?
Yeah, good question, man. That's kind of, I guess there's still live performance, but as far as being a studio like Ace, like back in the day, like Picaro and Gad and all that, I don't think that's even a thing that exists anymore. There's Keith Carlock. He gets a lot of work, but as far as like hip hop and rap, they're never ever going to hire a real drummer to do. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. No. Yeah, they're not even looking for that sound. Like if you listen to the snare drum sounds on Kendrick's album, it's like really, it's kind of sad. It's not even a snare drum sound anymore.
Yeah, the snare drum sound are like claps.
Yeah, some of them are good, but like some tracks are just like scratching sounds and like clapping.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that for me, I'm quite a bit older than Matt. Back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s, when I was heavy in the scene, especially the indie scene, and music was evolving at the time, and R&B, as we know it now, was just beginning. There was hope for the drummer. That a lot of R&B has some really slick and some really interesting grooves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there was hope for us. But then the drum machine or the keyboard playing of the drum machine, that seemed to take over that genre as opposed to the live drummer.
Yeah.
Now there are artists that still rely on the live drummer live.
Yep.
I know that at Merriam Music, we had Drake's drummer.
Absolutely.
I can't remember his name. Adrian
Bent.
Right.
Yeah.
He came, and the guy was awesome.
Yeah.
Extremely musical, and really surprising that His favorite genre of music was Disney.
Wow, really?
Yes, I know. I was totally shocked when he said that.
Yeah.
His favorite music is Disney
Because
music.
I missed the concert there.
The
Yeah,
clinic
the clinic.
that he did,
Yeah.
right.
But that's
So when
crazy.
he did the clinic, he did a couple of Disney tunes.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Did he do it like in a whole like crazy fusion feel, or was it like pared down Disney?
Not really. I mean, it was his thing, because what I noticed about his playing was he integrates the cymbals almost as toms.
Yeah.
So it's a very musical, high end approach, as opposed to, flying around the toms and coming into the floor toms for that rumble.
Yeah.
He would move between the toms and the cymbals, and it would go from low to high, low to high.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was very interesting. I've never seen a drummer do that before.
There's another drummer that does that. Sleep Token. Have you heard of Sleep Token?
No.
So it's like a new metal kind of band. They're not. They're really, really popular. They're not like heavy metal. They'd be almost more like Imagine Dragons, maybe on steroids, like just heavy drumming. But their drummer, man, uses cymbals like crazy. It's very, very like smooth, and his movement is awesome too. You should check him out.
Very flowing. Yeah.
They wear masks, so you don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
He goes by 2, but check him out. It's really interesting. A little gimmicky with the masks, but still very, very cool.
Well, Matt, one thing on Matt's channel is he's establishes himself as a jazz drummer, but he likes to react to a lot of metal, especially extreme metal. Would you say,
for
Matt?
sure. Yeah.
So how did you go from being a jazz drummer and an educated, you went to Humber, and you studied with some jazz drummers in Humber, and you played Barry Romberg,
Mark Kelso.
Mark Kelso, I know both those guys. And, obviously going from that, Miles Davis and Coltrane and all that, and now you're really have branched out into metal.
Yeah.
Can you explain that journey?
I say I'm a jazz drummer. That would be because the most formative part of my life was revolving around jazz. But like my beginnings were I loved Slayer, Dave Lombardo, Paul Bostaph. I loved Dream Theater. Mike Portnoy was like my hero back in the day. Scenes from a Memory, Change of Seasons, all these amazing albums. So that kind of transitioned into jazz. So I always felt like there's going to be a time where I go back to metal or that kind of harder music once I get out of school and do the whole formalized jazz training. Little did I know, during that time, I got super obsessed with jazz and just Elvin Jones and Bill Stewart, Brian Blade. These drummers just like spoke to me in a much deeper way than, metal's got its thing, you know what I mean? But there's it's a lot of athletics. So the art is hidden a lot of the time behind the athletics of it. So
when I saw Slipknot live,
Joey Jordison,
and it wasn't Joey, it was
Mike Weinberg, Max Weinberg's son,
right? Max Weinberg's son.
Yeah,
and it's funny you use the word athletics,
because
I tell everybody he's like an Olympic athlete.
Totally, 100%.
When I watch them play, the speed and the double kick, I know that it's triggered.
Yeah,
all the double kick is triggered, but still. Very athletic approach to the playing. It was incredible. I was blown away by his playing.
Yeah, those guys.
And you've noticed this a lot with a lot of the stuff that you're reviewing on your channel,
totally.
or reacting to, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about your channel for a moment.
Sure.
How did the idea of starting up a channel? Tell me about the process.
Well, you were the one. Like I had a channel for a long time, but really, really like posted randomly and like never really any direction. And I also did Instagram and I did Facebook, and nothing's really going anywhere, just slowly like getting a little bit of followers here and there. But then Tim was just like, why wouldn't you do it on YouTube all the time? Like if you can get partnered on YouTube, you can start to make money. It may not be that much at first, but at least they're going to pay you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then I just went to work. I was like, I got to do it. Like, why didn't I think of that before? I got to do it. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, I was able to I got lucky. I did a reaction video. Reaction videos have a built-in audience. So it's like I did one and got all my my watch time I needed and then partnered up. I still haven't figured out how to get paid yet, but I think
we'll talk about that.
Sweet.
It's funny because I can remember having that conversation with Matt and telling him, you could be making some money on YouTube, but I didn't know what his status of his channel was, meaning how many subscribers and how many watch time hours. You need 1,000 subscribers and you need 4,000 watch hours. I didn't know where you were at.
Yeah.
So then I see
Nowhere
him
near that.
a couple weeks later. I see him and he's like, Tim, I got monetized. I'm like, what?
I couldn't freaking
I
believe it.
couldn't believe it either.
I just got lucky. I one video, you know what I mean? It got
That's
all the
what it takes.
monetization. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it got like 60,000 views.
There's another guy that I know, a YouTuber, and he only had 2 videos out.
Yep.
Brand new channel.
Yep.
It had only been running a couple weeks.
Yep.
His 3rd video went viral and got over 1 million views. The guy got monetized in a heartbeat.
And then there's other guys, you'll see like 400 videos uploaded and it's so consistent,
Yeah.
and you know they're not monetized because
Yeah.
they're only getting like a certain amount of
It
views.
took me forever to get monetized. That's why I was so shocked. I remember saying to you, you got to be patient and this and
Dude,
that.
it
And
was
then
so
next
crazy.
time I see him, I'm monetized.
I went the reaction route. Listen, like reactions just they get
Yeah.
views, you know.
So what's the future of your channel? Reactions, obviously, you're well established in that. Is
For
there
sure.
anything else you want to branch out into? Or?
Yeah. I've been doing slowly yet surely trying to do like a little bit of transitioning into playing metal, and then just doing you know, the clickbaity jazz drummer tries metal. I've done that a couple times. That will just get people to click through right away. And I put a ton of work in. I think we were talking about this, learning the song Bleed by Meshuggah.
Yes.
The very, yeah.
What a task.
Getting anxiety thinking about it. Yeah, it was like 300 hours over 6 months of just, I didn't play anything but that. I'd take a break every once in a while and just like play some rudiments and like maybe a bit of jazz just to.
It just shows you, it took you that long to figure
We're
one song.
Yeah.
That just shows you what level Thomas Hack is at.
Exactly. Dude, he plays it every night along with like 10 or 15 other songs that are maybe even more challenging. So,
yeah. Like I just did I was an adjudicator for Studio Fest.
Yep.
Some of your students were there.
Yep.
But one of my students did a Tool song.
Oh, yeah.
He originally wanted
him.
to do Numa.
Yeah.
And it's 12 minutes long. So I said,
great for a recital.
I mean, amazing tune.
Yeah.
I love Danny Carey. I have a reaction video to Numa. It's an incredible song, but 12 minutes is just too long.
That's too long.
So he ended up doing, I think the song is called 45 and 2.
Yeah, I know that
46 and 2.
Yep, it's some combination of numbers.
Yeah. And he nailed it. It's 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
I mean, he nailed all the shots. He nailed all the changes.
What's his name again?
Cole.
Yeah, I've met Cole. Cole's a
Yeah.
future. You'll do an interview with Cole eventually.
Oh, yeah.
This kid's
Cole
amazing.
is upcoming. He's about 15 years old, but the kid is really talented.
Outstanding.
And he's an outstanding young drummer, and I'm really excited to see what that kid develops into. I think he wants to go to Humber for music.
Great. It's a perfect place for him to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll nurture him in there.
And whip him into shape, too. They'll, work out any of those bad habits. And
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been doing that myself as his teacher right now.
Great.
Because all young drummers have got technique issues.
Me too.
So can you give me an example of, in your playing world, of out gigging,
Yep.
are there any gigs that stand out for you?
Yeah, for sure. I haven't had many like gigantic gigs, but I do a lot of like house parties and corporate gigs with my buddy Peter Kavanaugh. He's got a group called the Sidewalk Crusaders, and we just work all around Toronto. And probably some of the best ones have just been like, rich guys hire you for their birthday party and you go to their mansion and you set up in their living room. And every once in a while, these guys are just super huge fans of music. And it's like, you couldn't have a better audience. They're just totally like into it and they love everything you're doing.
Anything weird happen on any of your adventures of being a musician, touring?
When I was saying that right now, I was thinking of one in particular where it was, it's almost sad, so stick with me, but there were some refugees that were there. So the gentleman was an immigrant and he had started a big business. He brought his family over and they were immigrating and trying to get into Toronto and not in the best mood or in the best place. Where they were coming from was sad. And during that performance, they were crying and just cheering and laughing. And at the end of it, he was like, "My sister, I haven't seen her smile in like years." And you got, so it's
very emotional.
Yeah, like 20 people in a room listening to us play pop music with a jazz element to it.
Well, for my viewers, they know that I like to tell a good story. And I got 40 years of touring and playing and I've done gigs like what you were just talking about, and just crazy stuff that goes on when you're touring and stuff. Is there anything that stands out to you in your career as a musician where it was extremely funny? whether it be funny, a joke played on you, or you played a joke on somebody else, or just something happened that was really comical?
So I never went on tours. I've only done like one-off gigs here and there, and also just been involved in bands. But I actually don't think I have any. Like, I honestly, too, the thing is, I'm not a big drinker anymore, and I don't necessarily like hang out and party afterwards.
Yes.
So I'm like kind of the guy that, to my detriment sometimes, is maybe gone when all of the pranks do take place.
I get that. Now, when you're on tour, you can't avoid that.
Exactly. Dude, you're living with people.
You're living with people.
Exactly.
If you're showing up to the gig, do the gig, and drive home, that's a whole different bag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a different thing.
What about you? What's your craziest story?
Oh, geez.
I know you've told it on here already.
Yeah, I've already told them all on here.
Yeah.
I've had some totally insane. One of the most insane for me was, and I already told this story, but I'll give you the very quick version because you probably haven't heard it. Was I'm playing a gig in Guelph. It's a university bar. As I'm playing, there's a window to the right of me, and I can look out the window and I see fights breaking out. Okay, no big deal. You're at a bar.
Sure, fights happen.
I've seen hundreds and hundreds of these fights. No big deal. But then the police show up.
Okay.
In the melee of the police trying to break the fights up,
Yep.
a female police officer gets punched in the face and gets knocked down.
Are you still playing at this point?
I'm playing.
You're still playing. Okay.
I'm still playing at this point. I'm like, and I'm trying to get the bass player's attention. Like, look out the window, you know. And I actually took some sticks out of the bag, playing with one hand, and I'm trying to toss the sticks at him to get his attention.
What the heck, man? Yeah, I don't have any stories like that.
Anyways, the female police officer, well, the other officers went nuts when the female police officer got hit. And it was chaos.
Of course, yeah.
And I'm sitting there playing and looking out the window with absolute chaos going around. So that is one of my videos. I tell the story about that, so you can check that out. So, anyways, Matt, I'm thrilled that we were able to do this here today. It's just a quick little interview / drum talk with Matt. I just wanted to introduce you to Matt. I want you to check out his channel. Please go and check out Matt Wallace Drums. He's very talented, up and coming young drummer. And I think that you're only doing yourself a service by going and checking out his channel. And I'm excited to see what's on the horizon for you, and what you're going to do. You did mention to me that you might be doing some lessons and stuff too on the channel, eh?
Yeah, for sure. Eventually, I've done a couple of things here and there, but that would be the whole goal. It would be nice if the channel was not a reaction channel and it ended up being just like a teaching channel in the future. But you know, you go where the views are for now.
Well, one thing that I stopped doing was doing playthroughs, because you're always going to get copyright.
Same with reactions. So it's like I'm reacting and I don't get monetized. So
if you react to them playing a song, you oftentimes have to dispute that. If you do get a copyright, I dispute them every single time. I've won some, I've lost some.
What's the percentage, would you say? Is it like
I would say it's about, I've won 60% and lost 40.
Seems like worth it.
Recently, I've won one and lost one recently, within the last month.
And there's never any like problem for disputing, like they're not gonna knock you or give you like one of those.
The thing is though, if they come back and they say, we are keeping the copyright, and it's usually not the artist, it's the label. They will contact you directly and say, yeah, we're keeping the copyright. If you have the option, you can complain again. You can do a secondary, but I've been advised by guys that have been in the YouTube industry, do not do that, because if they'll get pissed off and they'll put a strike on your channel.
I don't want
that. You do not want a strike.
You get 3, right? And
3 and you're gone. The channel is eliminated. Copyright claim. I mean, I know guys. Andrew Rooney. Are you familiar with New Zealand? He's a reactor.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I
know
the
guy with the multiple cameras, and then there's one on his feet. And
well, he just reacts to. He just
reacts. Oh, the bald guy.
The bald guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
From New Zealand.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He has hundreds of claims.
Oh wow.
On his channel.
Of course.
I don't know exactly why he keeps doing songs. I try to avoid songs if I can. Now, I recently did a Thomas Lang song, got a copyright claim, shocked. I disputed it within 2 days. They have up to 30 days. 2 days later,
Yep.
they said, yeah, we removed the claim.
That's nice. Yeah, yeah.
So
Kinda crazy, though.
Thomas or his agents or the record label, whatever,
Yeah.
reviewed my.
I bet you it would go right through Thomas.
Probably.
Yeah, I bet it
He
would.
must have liked it because they
Yeah.
took it right off. I
Yeah.
was shocked.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't believe it.
That's
So
sweet.
no copyright claim. So watch that video because I make some money watching on that
Get some
video.
views.
All right. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much, Matt,
Oh,
for
man.
joining
Thank
me.
you so much. So much fun. Hope we do it again.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right. Thanks for watching. And as always, keep drumming. See ya.